Lisa. I have several photos that I want to scrap today. These photos have a lot of color, they look very busy, even though we're not really being super active in them, but it's just there's so much stuff here. There's flowers. My mother and I are dressed in very colorful, patterned clothing. So I need a way to I don't want to say tone this down exactly, because I really want to have lots of color and pattern here, but to balance it a bit. I think we're going to start with doing some trimming on these photos. We are at a garden center. We're doing this for her birthday, and I think I can still show the garden center without having to show quite such large photos, because I'd like to keep this to a one-pager. If I had printed her picture bigger, I might have done this as a two-pager, but I think at this point we're going to do it as a one-pager. And I'm looking at maybe pushing all this stuff towards the top and using the bottom area of the page with a bunch of different punches and some 6x6 papers. I pulled out a bunch of things with pinks in here because I'm wearing pink, and there's pinks in the flowers and all. But my mom is not really a pink person. You see, she doesn't have on a pink in her top. And I have this from Basic Gray, this Herbs and Honey collection. It has some good chipboard and things in there. And so there may be something in here that will let me tone that down to a little bit more of a rusty tone. But I thought I'd cut some flowers, and I thought one of the easiest and most fun ways to do that is just to use the various scallop punches that I have from Stampin' Up, and I do have one flower punch from them as well. I have a certainly celery cardstock for the background. That's an old color from Stampin' Up, but I like these lighter colors for the backgrounds, and that goes with the green grass in the background of this photo, and should tie together with all of the different papers. So one of the first things I'm going to do is crop some photos, see how much room I have, and then we'll start pulling some papers. Also, you'll see along on your screen a promotion for my classes. They are on sale here in late May of 2017 through June the 1st. 2017, and you can find the details for that over, there'll be a link for that, the details for the classes and things in the description for this video. So if you're watching this before June the 1st, I hope you'll take advantage of that. Alright, so let's do some cropping. I'm thinking about actually cutting Mother's photo in an oval, but let's see what we have after we crop the rest of them. I've cut the other photos down, and I'm going to use my Creative Memories oval cutter to do her photo, and I accidentally got the middle size blade, the green blade, and so I'm going to redo this one with a smaller blade, or the blade that cuts closer to the oval. And then we'll probably put some mats on that to help that stand out even more, besides just the different shape. Now let's go through these 6x6s and see what we have that we want to use. As I said, I want to get some colors that are not too pink to go with the paper or with the photos, as well as some different pinks. And I have some there that have a little bit of a rust tone to them. There's a stripe that I think will work out well with all the greens in it. There was one group I decided I didn't need it. It had a lot of the same colors as these other papers, and some of them were just too bright. And this particular set is sort of a garden themed page set, so there are some little mini journaling cards that we might make use of, and some floral paper that's the right colors, and quite a few things in that. So I'm going to do some punching with the various scallop punches. I got all these at Stampin' Up. They're different size ones, from the really large to a smaller one. Kind of the mini, I think, is about an inch, inch and a quarter. And I punch more of these than what you see on the screen, but you'll see them coming up here in just a moment. And we're going to do some layering with them. I wanted to mat this photo to really make it stand out, so I have cut two colors of Stampin' Up! Cardstock. This is They're basic gray color. And this one, I think, is Primrose Petals. It's one of the old in colors. But anyway, so those two, it's kind of rosy, but it still goes with the rusty color in this top. And I used my Creative Memory circle cutters, the larger sizes, to cut that. I have been saying these were discontinued. Creative Memories brought these back, and they are on their website. You can get the ovals and the circles. I haven't looked. I assume they're still the same sizes as the ones I have from 2001, I think. I have used and used and used these. And you can buy the cutting blades. You have to buy those individually. I think there was one set where they were included, but I need to go and get another red one because I have, this is still my original, I think, green one. I'm not sure I've ever replaced it. I've just now replaced the blue one because I lost the other one. I don't know where, it's somewhere probably buried on this work table, but I went ahead and got the new one out, and I have replaced the red one 2 or 3 times, but I need to replace it again. It's getting dull, but these are just wonderful. I just love these cutters. So I have the silhouette, but it's just really nice to be able to, you know, cut out a photograph and that kind of thing. So I'm going to glue that together, and then for my flowers I punched a whole bunch of these out, and I took a couple of them and did some sewing. The background, which apparently I left downstairs, is I went ahead and sewed around the background, and I'll have that up here soon to put everything on. Just that green, I felt like it needed something around the top, so I just did some stitching. So while I was doing that, I went ahead and stitched a little bit over these flowers, or these scallops, and what I've done is just left the raw edges of the thread on purpose. So that made it really fast and easy. And then I can combine some of these. And some of these you'll see the stitching more than others. Let's see, I don't think that one, I think those two go together. I think I had this in mind there. I may put a smaller flower on these because I really like seeing the stitching. So I think I'll do that. A little bit smaller flowers. And I've picked out a couple of pieces of chipboard to use with this as well. I still haven't decided about these. So it's time to start pulling this together, assembling it on that missing background. So now you can see the green stitching that went around the page, and I did it purposely and not straight. And then where it seamed together at the bottom, or the stitching comes together at the bottom, I'll be sure and put a scallop piece around that. I'm going to add some dimensional adhesive to the oval cut to make it really pop. Now in my classes I do more real time and not as much voiceover, so they're more detailed, the videos are a little bit longer, and we get into more of the whys and hows for all of the different techniques. Now I'm layering up these flowers. Some of them I'm going to put brads, some of them I'm going to put buttons or button-like embellishments on them. I'm just trying to balance the colors and the sizes across the page and ideally have an odd number. And of course I want to cover that little bit of stitching at the bottom. Now originally I was planning in this space at the bottom to put the title, but I felt like I could put the journaling there and I could put the title in another place. We'll see that coming up in just a moment. I also felt like I needed a little something up towards the top to add a little bit of pattern up there. I didn't really want to add color, I wanted to add pattern. So I'm doing green tone-on-tone paper, and I'm just cutting some strips and putting it behind the photos. So we don't quite have everything going on at the bottom of the page. And I'll trim that one lower one down just a little bit because it's coming over the stitching. And so what I'm doing with the title is I'm making it vertical, so it will go down the middle of the page. And I don't do vertical titles very often at all, so this is unusual for me, but I kind of like how it worked out here. So we've got the title and my mom's photo together, so it kind of helps that also stand out. And then a few of the embellishments over there to the side. It's going to say plant, and I'm going to push it up there together a little bit. It's going to say plant shopping, and I'll do shopping in some smaller letter stickers. Now one thing that I'm going to add to this page, I've got that one die cut piece, and I'm just going to take the bottom of its perennial and add that because none of them had really quite the right flowers we bought that day. And then these are the little plant stakes that came with the Basic Gray boxes that some of us bought at the end of Basic Gray's scrapbooking and wondered what on earth to do with them. This is the first time I found a use for those plant stakes, and I'm going to put the date for the layout on mine. Alright, so I've added my journaling here and put a date on the little wooden stake that we had, plant stake that we had from these Basic Gray embellishments. So we got lots of embellishments down here at the bottom of the page, kind of grounding the bottom of it, but I think the photos really stand out on the green background, which is some tone on tone. I added a couple of corner pieces that I cut manually just to put up here, a little kind of like photo corners, just to bring a little bit of this color up to the top of the page because it was looking a little bit quiet up there. So get some close-ups of the page. Did a vertical title. That's very unusual for me. I very seldom do that. I ought to do it more. It's kind of fun. So anyway, thanks so much for joining me. And if you're watching this sometime by 10 p.m. Eastern Time, June the 1st, my classes are on sale. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. And thanks so much for watching.